Sunday nights are for football on Scorecard on Channel 1 TV. My name is Benjamin Nketiah. We have a good lineup of highlights for you and also some really insightful analysis. I mean, it depends on which side of the divide you are. From where I'm coming from, it's all happiness. You know, the best type of wins are the wins that come at the end of the game when it seems like your hope is lost, when it seems like nothing can happen, and then boom, the Maverick comes on, the Enigma. You can call him whatever you want, but that's where I derive my happiness from. I've not mentioned anybody's name. Anyway, some people have been dancing. They say that things are good in their camp, or they have seen the light at the end of the tunnel. It looks like this light is a doomsday light. Keeps going on, off, on, off. We will see what happens today, really, if there really is a future for the project that is happening with Ineos and at Old Trafford. But we'll take a quick break. When we come back, I'll introduce my two good friends in the studio. I'll bring you guys at home also into the discussion via text, WhatsApp, and Telegram, and then we'll start today's discussion. Welcome back to Scorecard here on Channel 1 TV. My two good friends are in the studio. Susu Graham is here. Fam, what's good? Ni Amorim.
Yeah.
Nimli.
Bozo.
Mbeshi.
I'm cool.
Charlie, people have been asking, how's your phone? Because on days like this, I know you can barely pick up your phone.
This is what I normally do. I've got some people who will never call me. They only tend to call me when my team loses. So when you're at that time, when you call, I just block you. Because for me, what I don't do is when your team loses the game, I don't even call. Because I know you are grieving enough. And the last person's voice you want to hear is my voice. So normally I don't call. But if you are the type of person that calls me regularly, we have a way of doing it good.
You pick up.
I'll pick up and then we'll
That's fair.
Whatever
That's fair. That's fair.
But I never hear from you when my team loses, then you are calling me.
Come on, get out. Well, you have the text WhatsApp lines on your screen there. Tell me what you think. I really want to know what you United fans out there actually think about Ruben Amorim after the time he has spent in the job. He's lost 6 out of the 12 home matches he's played. It's 10 defeats in 22 matches for United in all. I want to know how you guys feel about him.
I think that 6 out of 12 is for both coaches in the league. I think that's...
No, in fact, generally, the stats I gave are for both coaches, actually. The 10 defeats in 22 are for both, but I think he's also lost 6 in 12.
But the home games in the league, I believe that is the team. And I think it's the worst stats they've had at home since, is it 1893?
In fact, the numbers say that they are on song to actually have their lowest Premier League points tally if they continue going on this trajectory. I don't know what's going on, but I want to hear from the United fans. Are you optimistic about Amorim based on what you've seen? Are you indifferent? Are you waiting a while to make judgment? Let me know what you think. But let's start off the show quickly. No time to dilly-dally. Let's get to that game between Brentford and Liverpool. What's at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Brentford have been great at home this season. Liverpool had stumbled against Forest and needed a response. Let's get the highlights. So Liverpool Football Club needing to dig deep to get a result in this one. It was a very important result because Arsenal were bearing down on them in the lead up to this game. Coach, 2 things I want to talk about with this game. Mohamed Salah's 2025 has not started well at all. In this game, he barely had any significant action in front of goal. Should Liverpool be worried about that? And also, should they be worried about how difficult it is becoming to break down low block teams?
I don't know, but I'm going to say something very controversial with regards to the first question you asked. We did the game on radio. You remember there was a point I was complaining why Gatto, Diaz were not giving the ball to Salah when he was in the best of positions to score. And I've been doing some thinking of late. Since the man said he's leaving the club, his strike partners, I don't know whether they've been told or they themselves have decided, look, he doesn't have a future with us. So let's start playing in a way that will not gut us to or put us in a very difficult position when he leaves. Because Liverpool, if they had not won this game, I would have singled out Gakpo, singled out Diaz, singled out the one who wears the number 8 jersey, Szoboszlai. Because there were several occasions, especially in that second half. All they needed to do was to play Salah in. He scores. So if you look at the game yesterday, he had only 2 shots on goal. One was blocked. The other one was the one that nearly caught the goalkeeper off guard.
Yeah.
If you are Liverpool and there's a chance of winning the league, and you want to deprive or deny your most prolific goal scorer the opportunity to aid you to win the league, then it's up to you. I think Arne Slot, if they were to do proper review of this, these are the sort of things he should be highlighting. He should be highlighting these things very, very well. Liverpool have played how many games in 2025? I think 3 games already. He didn't play in the FA Cup. He was rested. The other league game, he played. I think he gave an assist. And in yesterday's game, he was so ineffective. But I don't blame him for that because, like I said, he's the most influential goal threat in this team. Why deny him the opportunity to put the ball? And if they don't put a stop to that, maybe they may win the league because the team chasing, they themselves are in 6s and 7s when it comes to scoring goals. So that was my genuine, clear observation of what I saw of the Liverpool team yesterday. Having said that, look, they played like champions, elect. When you watch the way Brentford played at home, they show no fear.
Nope.
They are bold in their approaches. When they are coming at you, they come at you in full force. At the time that Liverpool scored, if anybody had said they were going to score around that time, I would have said no, because tactically what Brentford had not done is that they've looked at they said, look, if we get a point out of this, it will be a very, very good result. So they had drawn everybody back, and they dropped so deep that you could lose count of the number of defensive line cover in their defensive shape. So it was just like fine margins. And for me, you want to credit Darwin Núñez. Look, you know my stand on him. I've always said he will come good. If I'm the coach, he plays in my team all day, simply because he's the type of striker who keeps trying, keeps going at it, keeps working hard, keeps doing it. Look, no matter how many chances he misses or he's going to miss, he will keep coming again. And that is the sort of mentality you want for a striker. He's lost his position in the team in recent times. He's the established number 9 in that team, not Luis Diaz, or the one who has been more or less forced to play as a number 9. So for this man, having lost his position in the starting team, and then more or less being thrown in at the time that Liverpool needed somebody to score, because there was something already ringing in the minds of the Liverpool players. Just after their game, Arsenal were going to play. And like I pointed out to you on radio too, the Arsenal team, they were watching that Liverpool game. And when Liverpool eventually scored in the last 3 minutes of the game, you remember what I told you on radio? I said, this is a dagger in the heart of the Arsenal team in that Emirates dressing room. And I don't think Arsenal will win the game against Aston Villa. And you said, I said, yes. Normally such things do happen. If there's an opportunity to catch up and it just snatch from you. Oh, damn, what is this?
Especially when you have a complicated game to play yourself.
If you don't take care, you can never recover from that. And that was exactly what happened. I want to sing a bit of praise to Arne Slot. It became clear that he needed to influence the game from the bench. And all the players he brought on, Darwin Núñez, the young left-footed guy, Ari Elliott, and then that midfielder who thinks he's Curtis Jones, the 3 of them came on. And even the Italian international, Chiesa, they all came on, but they understood the dynamics, that they were left with less than 10 minutes to make an impact. Once they had been thrown out there, the manager got his message across to them. They all came on having one simple goal. We will not draw this game. There has to be a way out. And if you look at the manner in which they went about it, in that last 10 minutes, especially in the last 3 minutes, it was absolutely world class. And credit must be given to Darwin Núñez. My last point, if you are a striker you should be watching what Darwin Núñez was doing when he came on. His movement was completely brilliant. Yeah. And the fact that he was always on his toes. Any flat-footed striker wouldn't have scored that first goal. As if it was a spontaneous, simultaneous response.
He knew the ball was coming, so he just came out to miss the ball.
And you could clearly see that the defender was right there with him. But because he was on his toes and he was mobile, it became very easy for him to just pounce when the ball broke loose. I think the initial pass got blocked. That was what took the defender's awareness away from him. So when Arnold, on the second invitation, didn't even control and just went, he just went like that, pop into the back of the net. I think they will win the league, and I think they will be deserving league champions.
And just to add to that, Opta have given them a 90% chance based on the results that have happened so far and the games that are yet to come to win the league. So it looks like the computers are saying it.
I still feel like they have everybody to play though. Still got to play United, still need to play City.
Because we are at this stage of the season and Arsenal also have a lot of games to play.
Yeah.
Like,
I think what Liverpool shouldn't, they should play this team in such a way that they should see that United game, create the way in such a way that whether they win or lose against United, it will not affect their fortunes. Because if there's anything that will, any team in the league that will be bent on making sure they don't make it a 20th league title, it will be Man United. So what they don't want, United worried them last season, and they've already worried them again this season. No, I think they're done with United home and away. They're done with United home and away. I think they won the first 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0.
And then this 2-2, so they are free.
Well, let's get more highlights.
But I want to say something just quickly. I think Liverpool did do enough to win the game.
Yeah, they did.
Before,
they deserve it.
Because look, they took the most shots ever recorded in the Premier League.
Yeah,
over 30.
Yeah.
Yep.
37 or something. At XG of 4. Look, it's one of those things where it's just like Brentford did a good job, but the better team won. It's not like they kind of they stole anything. No, I think Darwin Núñez, and look, Darwin Núñez, his problem is his decision making in front of goal.
That is the problem.
Because the statistics will tell you a striker like him is who you want because he's always in good positions. He finds himself
moves
in good
really
positions.
well.
But you see, I feel like Darwin Núñez, when I watch him, he's one of those players, he's the perfect footballer until he uses his brain. And what I mean by that is his decision making is so bad. There was a goal he scored and Mike Owen complained that why did he chip this ball? You play this ball left, right, or the
I remember that goal.
That's the simple.
The chip was the most difficult option of the
exactly.
And that was what he went for.
Exactly, and that's what he keeps on doing. So look, we all know what Darwin Núñez's problem is. He's a great player, but those decisions and those problems. But if you remember, he has those moments where he wins games for Liverpool.
Exactly.
I think the beginning of last season.
In fact, he scored
the Newcastle.
I was basically saying it like
yes.
this is start. They say he scored more 90-minute winners than any other player in the Premier League, actually.
The Newcastle one stuck out to me because if I remember,
they were down.
They were down to
They were
10
men down.
1-0, and he scores 2 late goals to win the game from nothing. So look, he has his moments, but he needs those moments.
He just needs to be consistent.
And he needs to score the easy chances. Because remember against Luton last season, there was
man.
some chance where it's like Salah kind of headed it across. It was like 3 yards out and
Still
over the
missed
bar.
it.
Yeah.
Darwin Núñez, very controversial player. Anyway, let's get more highlights. This time we'll be going to the tactical board when we are done. One of the big games of the weekend was Arsenal welcoming Aston Villa. Mikel Arteta beginning to feel the heat. A lot of people pointing, accusing fingers at him for Arsenal's drop in form. Coach, let's try and make some sense of where Arsenal fell short and where Villa were brilliant.
Okay, so there were 4 goals in the game. I'll look at 3, and I'm going to leave the party one to so for him to deal with that.
Right.
So Arsenal scored first. That was the Martinelli's goal.
Yep, you have that at the bottom.
That is Martinelli's goal.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the Martinelli's goal, I think Aston Villa were their own problem here. So if I roll this and I stop it here, normally defenders are told, especially if you are defending from the cross. So I want to highlight this. I want to highlight this Villa defender here. As you can see, he's the one in total control of the situation. But what he refused to do, at that point, the most dangerous players, this is Martinelli, and this is, I think, Odegaard. These 2 players were the 2 most dangerous players for Arsenal. So what he should be doing is proper to keep your eyes on the ball. But you looked at the ball because there's no way Trossard is going to score from there. With the quality of the goalkeeper you've got, a World Cup winner, a goalkeeper who was once voted the best goalkeeper in the world.
Twice, actually.
Twice. As a defender, you should be having a look at those players who are coming to attack the cross. If I roll this, you realize that he never gave it a look. Look, he kept his eye on it throughout. Now look at it. Martinelli now realizes that he's on the blind side of the defender. The defender cannot see. He's overly focused on the cross. Yes, it's good to be that. But if you look at here, they are in total control. The only space that Martinelli can go through is somewhere here. Or he can, depending on the cross, he can go there. In both cases, he's on the blind side of the defender. The defender cannot see him. And you could clearly see that once the cross goes in, he went in front of him. By the time he realized the ball was in the back of the net. So again, defenders are told that when you are defending on the cross, it's good to keep your eyes on the ball but you glance at the ball and then you turn and have a look around at those players who are rushing, because they are the one coming to finish the move. They are the one to be at the end of the move. So again, I just needed to highlight the lack of awareness on the part of the Villa left back on that Arsenal goal. Then we go to the
Havertz?
I think the Havertz goal. The Havertz goal. Again, I don't know why of late. You see, that was a beautiful goal. Look, to be honest with you, you want to credit. Let me bring this thing back a bit. Let me pause this here. I don't know why of late defenders overly tend to backtrack when they are being run at. I remember one of the coaching courses we did in the US. We were told that as a defender, you only backtrack if you don't have numbers, if there's no defensive line behind you. So that you do so in order to delay the attacker and give your teammates the opportunity to join you and then recover. But when there's a proper defensive line cover, like we saw here, you don't backtrack. You go and allow him to take you on. And normally as a fullback, look at it. So if you pause it here, look at it. It's a 1v1 situation. Clearly you can see that this Villa player is coming to join him there. So after delaying him for a second, you now go and press. But if you don't go and press and you keep backtracking,
that's so shocking.
You are allowing him to just any form of cross into the box is in the back of that. And again, this is Kai Havertz. At that moment, he's in between three Villa players. 1, 2, 3. You can see all of them there. Now, what he needed to do was to time his run in accordance with the trajectory of the cross. So he is aware of the situation. He's looking at it. He takes him on. You pause it there. Now look at that now.
He still managed to stay between
the two of them. So the Aston Villa defender who can best solve the situation is the one here, because he can see Kai Havertz. The one here cannot see Kai Havertz, because Havertz is definitely on the blind side. But lack of communication. This is what you call lack of communication. There should be a communication between this guy. He should be pointing him out. Look at him. He's on the blind side of the other guy. So you go. He never did that. So by the time he realized, look at the ball. How can you keep Havertz in front of you like that?
And he's a big guy too.
He's a big guy.
Yep.
So that was, again, another defensive lapse that should never happen. I'll highlight...
Coach, I just want to say something. I think they are afraid to tackle maybe because of the threat of set pieces. That might be a possibility, because I think Arsenal's strength at set pieces has teams maybe a bit scared
I was telling somebody
to make
this.
certain decisions.
You don't want to risk committing a free kick in a certain type of situation. Does that not count?
But until then, they have dealt with every corner kick. You see, now it is so clear that one of Arsenal's strength in games are their set pieces. So it is now the responsibility of the other coaches to find an antidote to that. Because of how good or how powerful they are on set pieces. It doesn't mean you shouldn't go and put in the tackle at the obvious opportunity. You should continue to do that. Because if you don't do that, they score from open play. And that was too cheap a goal to give away. They've got Martinez, a very big goalkeeper. And in terms of height, Villa is a decent team.
They are big.
They are big team, so they should be able to match them. So for me, I think the fact that he kept backtracking and allowing Trossard to run at him was the problem. Like I said, I will highlight.
There's 2 more goals. So there's the Watkins goal, there's the Tielemans goal.
I will leave the Watkins goals to Soso for him to deal with it. This is the goal I want to actually talk about here. Again, let it go. You see, let it go. So I allowed it to go on freely. Now, when it comes back, then you see the beauty of it. So pause it here. Now look at this. At this stage, there's absolutely no problem.
Yeah.
The only problem is the gap between somebody who is not a natural right back being asked to deputize at right back, Thomas Partey, and the crosser of the ball. But even that, Arsenal still have the situation under control. The problem started when the Arsenal defenders didn't show proper commitment in defending. This is, I think that was Kivio.
I think that's Lewis Kelly, that's Gabriel, and then Timber is behind Partey.
There you go.
So it looks like there's a big gap between the centre backs.
Is doing his job. He has this Villa player here in sight.
Yep.
So he's doing his job. So there's no problem with it. The problem is with this 3 Arsenal defenders and then the 3 Villa players. Who is more committed? Who is showing the greater desire? So when I roll this, you see that the 2 Villa players, Tielemans, who eventually scored the goal, saw the gap and they made sure they would get to the ball first before any Arsenal defender would do so, provided the cross is spot on. Partey's inability to stop the cross or get closer to stop the cross from coming was the first error or the first mistake, and then the rest. Look at it. So if you pause it there, look at it. You see Tielemans' desire to make sure that, look, if this ball comes in,
I'm getting to the
I'm
ball.
going to be the first to get it. That is what. And as
look,
defenders,
he's left Moreno. Look, Moreno
he's
is
not
now,
worrying at all.
So Moreno is now holding him.
And I think, you see, the lack, you see, there are times you are allowed to use your hand, not to push him,
but to actually
at least block the channel. Look, the John Terrys, the Village, the Carvalho, they would have done that with ease. Those days, you see them, even John Terry, when he was in his head, he would even throw his body in front of the, just to make sure he's obstructing you from getting to the ball. And that, in my view, is what you call proper defending. There you go. Tielemans wins it first, and the ball is in the back of the. You can see, again, is the desire to get there and then finish it up. He was brave in the header because the Arsenal defender had gone in there with his. Normally, when you are not careful, you lose your teeth. Some of your teeth will have to come out. But the braveness, when you see players committing like this, the rest of the team is motivated to go for it. I will leave it here, and so we'll pick up why Arteta should stop playing Thomas Partey as a right back.
So the only game they've won with Partey at right back was against Southampton. I believe he's played about 6 or 7 games there, and they've drawn or lost the rest.
Exactly.
So that should tell you how badly he does there. So we'll look at the Oli Watkins goal here. So again, another cross again, same crossing situation. But this time, I believe it's more like a set-piece situation. You can see it's a right-footed in-swinger. So we'll just go through it. So here we go. It swings in. Then there's a phase of play. So now, the second phase is always dangerous for teams from set pieces. So things change. Now, Matty Cash whips it with his left. And look, that's the goal. So you see, Oli Watkins was almost free. Now, let me pause it.
He had acres of space,
so
actually.
If you look at Oli Watkins, he's with Partey here.
That's right.
Let me just highlight them. The 2 of them are here.
Yeah.
This is the 2 of them. They are just here together. So you just watch. Now look, let me pause it here again. Partey went forward. His defensive awareness was not good. So he goes forward, but Watkins keeps going. Now look at where Watkins is. I'll also highlight Kai Havertz a bit because I think Kai Havertz misjudges his header. So you see Kai Havertz here, he's kind of jumping up. But because he mistimes his header, it goes over his head. Maybe Havertz times his header better. He heads it out or he stops it. But now look at where Watkins is and look at the keeper. This is an easy chance for any top striker. So now the ball just drops very simply and go. So I don't want to say Thomas Partey is the reason they lost this game. But 2 errors and 2 goals is not good. The first one is typical of a central player playing at right back. He doesn't want to go out wide. His comfort zone is in the middle.
That's right.
So he doesn't want to go wide and because his training is stay in the middle. The fullback will come. That's his natural instinct. When you are playing right back, You have to
In
think
fact,
of yourself
that's exactly what I was
differently.
thinking, because I was thinking, you look at where Digne is, and Partey's natural
lot
mindset
of
is
space.
he's not going to cross the ball from there.
Yeah, and that's a lot of space. And we know Lucadini, he plays free kicks, he plays corners.
In
So
fact,
when
they
you have a
brought him
player-
on at half time when they realized that they had gone close from a couple of crosses into the box, but the crosses were just not quality. So at half time, they threw him on.
Matheson, the
Yeah.
left back we complained about in the first goal, fell asleep for a goal. So he's falling asleep. So now they are changed the game up. So you saw how much distance Partey gave him. Nice, easy cross for someone with technique. And you look at this goal where he kind of goes in and out. They'll show it again. Maybe you might see this better. Like, you see.
Is this goal?
Look at how far he is. Look at how far he is.
Is this goal not a case also of,
Let me try and go
Partey
back.
thinking that, you know what, like you said, when I watched this in real time, my instinct
just
was
wanted
that
to see
Havertz
that.
was going to deal with this.
Yes, I thought so too. But just look at it. Look at him.
Positive. Positive.
That's good. So
This is
you see, he's moving for it. So you can see his move, and he's now realizing that, oh, I've gone for it.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm now trying
He's
to stand
caught in
back.
two minds,
But
yeah.
the ball is also bending towards the goal. You see, maybe if it was a right-footed cross, he might have a better chance. But once it's going like this, arcing away from him, and it goes over Havertz's head and it drops right in front of Watkins, there's nothing he can do. So you see him now. By the time he even moves,
No man's land.
no man's land. So I think the Partey right back experiment, it has to stop. I can understand that they had some injury issues and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But they might have been better off.
They have enough defenders to
Yeah,
actually
they might have been
improvise.
better off playing maybe Calafiori at right back, even though he's left-footed, because he has more instinct to be on the flank. So I think the Partey right back thing is not working. Like I said, that the second goal though is not good. I think his defensive instincts were very poor there. And there was even another issue that he had. I don't even remember the throw-in. he made. This was earlier in the game. He threw the ball straight to Oli Watkins, and you know, so
Could have cost us that
yeah,
again.
he had a difficult game. I think the right back, it doesn't suit him.
Let's stay put there. So that's the first tactical breakdown. We have one more tactical breakdown for you. We'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll have more highlights. Stay with us on Scorecard. To Scorecard here on Channel 1 TV. Let's get into more highlights. This time to the theatre of dreams we go. Manchester United dug deep to get a result against Southampton in midweek, and it was supposed to be a confidence booster coming back home to play at Old Trafford. But Brighton and Hove Albion had ideas of their own. Remember, Brighton did a double over United last season. This season, they've repeated the dose. Let's get the highlights. Welcome back in studio. I have a little dedication for Coach before the highlights. They need to drop your song.
Oh, you are not correct. Oh.
No, but
You see, that song, you can only dance to it when things are going your way.
This one is the seagull, so it's the seagull, so they are flying. It's the seagull.
Look, drop the song.
let's talk some tactics, man.
Now look, so this is the main
Minter.
tackle.
Yeah.
You see, I have said something now. I used to say during the days of Harry Ten Hag. Of late, most people are trying to praise Harry Maguire. I still don't see how good he's been.
But you don't like giving Maguire his flowers, even in games when he's good.
In the modern game, he's so good a defender when the team sits deep.
Yeah, he's not.
So we saw him against Liverpool. We saw him against Arsenal when United were very deep, and therefore he was in charge of a situation. The limited space to be exploited, and therefore he could read the situation better and deal with it. Now, if you look at this, this is not even, we are in the 4th minute of the game. This is the first goal. Let it go, and then when it starts all over again, I'll pause it. So I'll pause it here. Look at this. You are the last man. This is Mr. Maguire. This is Mr. Maguire. He's the last man there. In football terms, we say he's in charge of the situation. So if you look at delete, he's going because he's not getting any communication from his leader.
Yeah.
So he's allowed to go. Tactically, United have a perfect shape, but at this time they are not pressing the ball. So if your team is not pressing the ball, you don't step out, especially when you don't have pace. Yes, you agree, or we agree that Amorim wants his team to play a high line. But as the protagonist, as the players, you have to be smart. It is when the press is triggered and players are anticipating better, then we all move as a unit. But there was no press on the ball. And look at that. If you were to draw this line, Maguire is the one most backward of all the United defenders. It's a back three that's supposed to be a back five. But as it stands now, you can the other fifth player is Ahmad. He's somewhere there. So it's more like a back four.
Forward is Euro. Look at Euro is on the halfway line, and Dallo is back.
Yeah.
So Euro is a bit.
This is Euro, and Euro's position is perfect because of this. Because of this, this is Euro. This is Euro.
So I think that's João Pedro. He's kind of man marking.
He's kind of following to make sure that everything is in line. So his position is perfect. Look at it. There are 4 United defenders there. And Maguire is the one most in charge of the situation. He didn't prompt delete, and then the pass just go. Just one ball, not even 5 minutes into the game. And this is what he did. Just let me take this back a bit. You see that when the pass was being through, he decided to come back. He took 1-2 steps backwards. Look at the way he's running. He doesn't have pace. Mente, who scores the goal, just ran past him. And that created the angle for the pass. Look, he's gone.
Him trying to run as fast as he could is just hilarious.
Look, I beat him in a foot race all
And
day.
it doesn't help. He's now in his 30s. He was never fast.
He's 32.
Now he's in his 30s, so the pace is reducing.
I'm going to beat him to a foot race all day. I beat him. Quick, you can put your last person on that. I beat him to a full race all day. Maguire. So from there, I'm not going to look at the Bruno's equalizer. Then let's go to the Mitoma score. So let me roll this again. So look at it. It's rolling. It will come back. When it comes back in the replay, that is where you see the proper lack of leadership, organization at the back. All because of, again, the high line. Okay, no. I don't want to play. I wanted to start, if we can come back a bit. Okay, to come back a bit. No, I'm not seeing what I want to see here. Let me bring this thing back, come back. Okay, let me pause it here. You see, at this stage, look at the number of United players in the box. Get there, look at them. Look at them. Look at them. This is Maguire. This is Dallo. This is Ugarte. And then this is what? Is it Mazwari or
I think
Delete?
that's Delete. Mazwari is at the far post.
What sort of shape is that?
Y shape.
What sort of shape is that?
It's a Y. It's a Y.
What sort of shape is that?
6s and 7s.
I don't get it. What sort of shape is that? And you know, the one to blame here is the leader at the back, because it's a back three. Whoever is in the middle of the back three is in charge of the situation. But again, it was a high line that got bypassed.
Yep.
So because they were all running backwards and the leader was also struggling to meet the pace, there is proper disorderliness. In chemistry, we say there's proper entropy. The entropy of the system is very stable.
So you mean it's like a gas?
Yeah, that's the gas. You see, when entropy says that when there's confusion, then there's stability. This is proper stability in entropy. Now, when you roll this, look at him again. Look at him. This is what I pointed out. Watch, let me pause it here. Diego Dallo, should he be doing this or he should be doing this? There's a defensive line cover. Why? Come and block the cross. Yeah. Come and block it. Move, because look, Mente will not attempt to dribble you. He's left-footed, so he can only come onto his left foot.
Yep.
This is Ugarte or whoever it is here.
Euro.
This is Euro.
Yes.
So there's proper defensive line cover. So you don't backpedal. Like I said earlier on, defenders are allowed to do so when they don't have the numbers. That is when you back. But when there is proper number, you don't backpedal. You step forward. Let him dribble you. Again.
And no, coach, I just want you to leave it. You see, where you see Maguire and Euro, that's what coach is complaining about. Because it's like Euro is here, the Maguire is almost behind him. So it's like he's not marking anybody. He's just, and he's in no man's land.
And see, look, I don't know, but
so look, now
my
they're in the box, they are 2-on-2. So it's Pedro and Mitoma are there with
against
Delete and
Mazwari.
2-on-1, 2-2. If he had been a bit more central, you can at least mark, let's say, Pedro.
So look, At the
delete
time,
is free
at the
and it's
time-
more difficult.
At the time the ball was being put into the net, passive, 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 passive. The only active players there was Mazwari. He was the only active. Look at, you've got the numbers. How come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 against 3? Because of how bad the shape was.
Let's give them credit. Welbeck is there with me.
No, but if you
Let's
count
give them
Man,
credit.
if you count Weber, they have to count Mainoo. So it's still, there's a proper number. And this is what that shape does. Defensively, you always have the most in terms of what numbers.
Yep.
So your organization, when you are outnumbering the opponent, should not go to your disadvantage. It should always present an advantage for you to be able to deal with the situation. Again, it's the true character of the team. Occasionally, they may win games and will come and dance apeke, apete, adane, ado this. But at the end of the day, I have said that it is proper such things happen. Because you cannot tell me that Maguire will become so good after 7 years at the club. We were talking about the issue on radio, and then somebody sent a text that said that, but United renewed his contract. I said, if you understand football, United didn't renew his
There
contract.
was a year option.
They triggered the 1 year extension because they don't want him to go for free. But believe you me, during the summer, if anybody brings 15 million, they take it and then they ship him out. Ship him
I
out.
think Maguire is not a bad backup.
No.
I think he's good for it. If you are winning 2-1 and they are bombing your box, then you bring him on.
Look, I look to see whether the England new coach, my
We'll give
own
him a call up.
Total Lute, will work with him. The Total Lute I know, he's finished.
No, I think he definitely is in a position not to be called, because Southgate had people he liked working with,
Yes.
who had served him well.
Yeah.
So even if they were off form and they were not playing, he was calling them. Tuchel has come to work, create his own group.
His
So
own group.
if you are not in good form, you are not playing well.
Forget it.
You don't
You
get
won't
to
enter
play.
in the new group. So that one, I think his England career is over.
Well, Manchester United losing this one. Andre Onana coming in for a lot of heat. Just touch on that Onana performance quickly before I move it on to another highlight.
It's a difficult one because I always say Onana is good, but he's not great. So there will be some days he makes mistakes like this. It's a clanger.
It happens.
There's no pressure. You should hold that ball, but he didn't. He drops it and then Ruta kills the game. And I said on radio that at that time when it's 2-1, you are in the game.
Of course.
But when you drop the ball like that and it becomes a 2-goal lead,
It just demoralizes
everybody.
Not only the playing body, but the over 70. Everybody just went there.
Actually, we saw people starting to leave after that.
Exactly
goal. They
after
started
that
to leave.
mistake.
So-
But you see, it happens. Like he's saying, it's an unpardonable error. But I remember on Thursday, we were all singing his praises. But for him, Southampton beat United 4-0 in that first half. He made lots of world-class saves. But this error is an unpardonable.
And that's why I say Onana is good, not great, because there are moments where he's one of the best shot stoppers in the league.
True.
In fact, I felt last season people were unfair to him.
Yes.
Because he was facing almost the most shots on target
Every game.
Europe's top 5 leagues. I think
At
only
least.
about 4 teams faced more shots on target
Exactly.
than United last season.
Yeah.
So there's only so much Onana can do. Even if Onana says he's saving 75%, United
still
were going to
25 goals
concede.
in.
We're going to concede more than most teams because of how many shots he was facing.
Exactly.
If you look at his goals prevented, so that's they have push shot XG, so it shows where in the net the ball was going to go with XG to calculate the likelihood of a goal. He was prevented. The goals prevented figure was high.
Yeah.
So he's a good shot stopper. He claims crosses more than De Gea. De Gea doesn't like coming for crosses. He is more authoritative in the box. He's better with his feet. So there's something must
give.
There's some good things, but once in a while those mistakes come, and that's the issue. If he made, let's say, 75 to 50% more mistakes, I'd say he's a top 10 keeper in the world. If not top
Let me
5.
ask United fans something genuinely. Do you guys believe that Onana is the goalkeeper for United going forward if you want to be competitive, winning titles again? I'm saying this because Onana was a Ten Hag buy. I don't know what Amorim likes. I don't know what his preference is, but genuine question for United fans. Let's go on to more highlights.
I'll answer this question. We saw Inter Milan go to a Champions League final with Onana and goal, with him being the best keeper in the Champions
And they
League.
won the league with him.
Yeah, no, I think they won the league the year before.
The
year before. So it's not like he's a bad keeper. That's why I say good, not great. And where United are, if they have a good keeper and they fix their playing body, they can get good results.
I think if they can fix the playing body, I'll still give him another good year.
And if
as my United's number one.
United have a system where Onana is faced as many shots as maybe David Raya or Ederson, you see how good he is.
Yes, exactly.
He's in a situation where he's exposed more than most keepers. This game was bad though, because even the shots that came, he didn't make any saves. But you know, the thing is, sometimes these stats are deceptive, because maybe the shots that came, a lot of them went over the bar.
Yeah.
They were blocked by his teammates. And the shots he did face, they were very difficult for him to face, because I'm looking at the Minte goal.
No,
nothing you can do about it.
You look at the Mitoma goal.
There's nothing
the
you can
goals
do.
he considered is almost like you can't
do
stop
anything
those
about
goals.
it, yeah.
And those were the only shots on target Brighton had. So it's a weird one. So
Interesting. Let me get to another game. David Moyes is back at Everton. For those of you who don't know, and he's back with a banger. They were up against Tottenham Hotspur. They made light work of them. Big win for David Moyes. A good way to start. Let me start with you, Susu. Moyes is back. People say that second comings are not great. What are your expectations for Moyes in his second era, and how good a result was this?
I think Moyes comes back a better coach than he left. I mean, this is a guy who's now, we've seen him do decent European runs.
Yeah.
We've seen him manage in other countries.
Yeah.
We've seen it, like, he's changed.
So what a European trophy, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. He's had 3 solid European runs. They've got to a Europa League semi-final, quarter-final, and won the Conference League. So he becomes a more experienced manager, a smarter manager, able to manage different competitions and that kind of stuff. So I think that's good for Everton. Sean Dyche himself actually went to the board and said he felt he had gone as far as he could. It's not like the board asked him to leave. He went to the board and said, look, I don't think
I
this
can't
will
get
work.
any more out of this
Yeah.
team.
So we have to understand that from his point of view, he felt that he could not keep them in the Premier League the way he was sounding. So they had to make an appointment. This seems sentimental in a way, but he comes back a better manager. And you can say that he's one that it might give some feeling back to the fans. Because remember, you are going to a new stadium next season. You want to stay in the Premier League. If in the short term it gives you that boost, you finish the season strongly. It gives you optimism going into the new stadium.
Yep.
You have new owners who are ready to spend money. We've seen them at Roma spend money. They're not afraid to spend money. So I think there's a lot of optimism. The team they are creating more chances. They had a decent XG in this game.
Yeah.
The issue they had was the finishing, but I saw the goal Calvert-Lewin scored, and I'm surprised because he's been very poor.
He doesn't score such goals.
He's been very poor in the last few years.
And picking his spot like that.
I mean, the man in there, he's a very skillful player.
Yeah.
We know he's capable of that, but Calvert-Lewin, definitely not. So, and I think Spurs, going to the Spurs side, Ange Postecoglou, he's in big trouble. He has a 1 month to his second leg against Liverpool. I don't know if he'll be there in a month if they keep playing like this. Because they've lost 5 out of their last 6.
Yep.
The only positive result, and I say positive, was a draw against Wolves. Who you'd expect Spurs to beat based on where Wolves are in the table.
Yeah.
So things are not looking good. And I don't like his press conferences. He looks miserable. He's looking down. He won't look at the camera. I mean, come on. What's that about?
Not to come to his defense, but I don't think Mr. Levy is being fair to the man.
How so?
He's lost, through injuries, some key players. You see, this Spurs team shouldn't be equated to that of Man City or that of Chelsea or that of Arsenal, who, of course, that of United, who should not be complaining about injury. But if you've lost the World Cup winning defender,
No, the centre-back pairing is very poor.
it's gone.
It's very poor right now.
And
I agree, because you're playing an 18-year-old
They've lost Van de Ven and Romero.
No,
Yes.
because right now you're playing, and even some of the backups
Archie
are
Gray and
It's
Dragusan.
Dragusan and Archie Gray. Archie Gray is a midfielder.
Yeah, and the
he's
left-footed,
18.
the Italian boy, the Nigerian.
Destiny Udogi.
They
is
are
also
gone.
gone.
So Jet Spence is
So
playing.
of his trusted back four is only the
In fact, I think they lost their goalkeeper.
They've lost their
They've
goalkeeper.
lost their number one goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So
That's at least four of
thought,
your back five gone.
Look, football, take it or leave it. To me, the best or the most important department is defense. To me, If you can defend well, you put one chance in there, you win the game. So if the man is playing, this was what Ten Hag went through last season, where he had to
look for all kinds of pairings for your
just to make
backline.
sure a backline is presented to go and play in the game. So that is my problem. But he's not also helping his cause by being so obsessed and insistent on
No changing of style.
no changing of style. You should look at the material you've got. At least this is your team. You have built them. You've been there for over a year. So you should now be able to say that, look, guys, this is my identity. But under the circumstance, if you look at the prevailing situations here, I think we need to be a bit, we need a bit pragmatic, because you are playing with teenagers, boys who are highly inexperienced. So as a manager, how are you setting up the team for these boys not to be exposed? But in this case, game after game, they are being exposed.
Yep.
So somebody may look at that and say, but the man is not even doing anything to mitigate the extent of damage that the team is going through. So in that regards, I agree with Sasso. But also, I think Mr. Levy, he's made good money. Spurs, they've got money. For them to have put up that stadium, they've got money. So just take 50 million, buy 2 proper centre backs, and come and cushion the team at the back and get them to go
Even one
forward.
of their backups
solves
is
the
Ben
problem.
Davis, who's what 33.
33, 34.
And Ben Davis
He's
is
been
a
around for a
centre-back.
long
He's a left
time.
back
He's
who's
a
been
left back.
converted to a centre back over time.
So look, these things will happen to them.
Spurs not in good shape at all, and they are on the wrong side of the Premier League table. It's the second round already. They need to get their act together. Let me read messages. We'll take a break. We'll bring you more highlights. So Edia TV watching live from Lomé in Togo says, I salute you all over there. Special respects to Coach Nimli. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. Fred from Sunyane says, in fact, this is the worst United team in history. 90% of the players don't deserve to play for the club. They play like they have achieved everything in football. Sluggish, and now I don't know which team United can beat if Ahmad and Bruno don't score. Okay, so it is the two of them have been combining to get all our goals. In all, I don't blame anybody but Ten Hag. All his signings are poor. They should gift them back to their teams. Wow, interesting. Peter Parker from Joe. Say hi to Uncle Ben for me. It says, Ose United, Apeke. They are City rivals.
Ben, you know Uncle Ben is there.
I know, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. He said that City rivals are winning by 6 goals and they are bottling it on their home turf. By the end of the season, they will be struggling with Leicester for 17th. This one says, in 2000, this is a very long message. I have to come back to it. Arsenal will bounce back. Man United now have 11 points from 11 games, and it's not bad by their standards. Daniel Texan from Cape Coast. Coach Nimli, Numo Apeke, also. Curtis from Asesewa. This one says, the last time I checked, supporting Man United gives more broken hearts than receiving a breakup from your girlfriend. I see. Man United's owners, the Glazers, are business-minded people. They should have sold the club to the Qataris. Otherwise, Onana should not be first choice goalkeeper at Man United. We need a massive clear this summer. Dylan Manchester from Lusaka in Zambia. Shout outs to you guys in Zambia. This one here says, Apeke. Use all your energy to score Arsenal. No, not team, not Apeke. Frank Ellie from Adidome. Anyway, says, good evening, Ben and the whole crew. Coach was dancing plenty with Susu last week. I know say he go come explain today plenty, but Enfa, Old Trafford now 10 Old Trafford. Guys, I have all kinds of jokes.
Such messages only come from the Chelsea faithful.
They are your good friends.
They are my friends.
But to be fair, coach has proved them wrong. They said that when United loses, coach doesn't come on.
Yeah,
Coach can even analyze the goals for them.
Yeah, showed up. This one says, Man United need to reshuffle the team, and the young star they brought on lacks confidence. United really need changes in the squad. And please ask coach about Rashford's situation. I think he's been clear. He says Rashford needs to go.
He's a gunner.
This one says,
you can't
Arsenal
bring him back.
has bottled the league again. This one's from Bright from Tetegu. Says, good evening to the best sports show and crew in Ghana. Kobbie Mainoo's contribution in the past games have been below average. He is slow in recovery, doesn't add anything to the attacking line, can't even run. Kobbie should start from the bench. You know what? Let's take a break. When we come back, I'll touch briefly on the Mainoo situation. I'll let them touch briefly on that, and then we'll move to more highlights. Stay with us on Scorecard. Welcome back to Scorecard on Channel 1 TV. Let's just touch briefly on the Kobbie Mainoo situation. Just quick thoughts on him.
Yeah.
United fans seem to think that the shine of when Ten Hag first introduced him as all one-off, and that he needs to earn his place now.
I agree with them, but one thing that they also have to remember, he's a young lad, he's 19 years. He cannot carry the burden of this team. He's not a finished product. That is fundamental. So once you see him not to be the finished product, you expect to see the sort of performances that he's putting up. That boy should be learning from a bit more experienced players. So imagine if Casemiro was playing like we all know he can play. And there's Ugarte. Mainoo sits on the bench
and then he learns
from them. But the fact is that if you entrust that department, is the most concentrated department in football.
Yep, that's where all the action is.
And in this system too, being 2, not 3, is a
He's
lot of
2,
work.
not 3. For that to be 3, then one of the 2 of the number 10s, one will have to drop in there and then to aid them. We saw him do so well against Liverpool because the team sat deep. So Bruno sat deep alongside him, But
on his own game, I mean, have you seen an improvement from last season to this season, and what can he touch up on?
I think those closer to him should inform him that he should go back to the basics. Yeah, he's technically very good, but I think when the ball gets to him, that sort of Ghanaianness, flamboyant antics, no, you don't need that. You don't need that. Okay, you are playing for Manchester United.
Yeah.
It's a privilege, it's an honor at 9 to be there.
Yep.
We all know how good he can be, but he needs to go back to the basics. He needs to understand that he's not playing with his peers. He's been brought in and he's playing against much more experienced players from the opposition. So it's receive, touch, and go. Receive, touch, and go. When that room presents itself for you to show how technically good you are, then you show it, then you pass. And he cannot be seen to be chased. One, because he's not good on the recovery. He should be told to demarcate. You are playing only alongside Ugarte. You don't leave him exposed. Stay with him. Like I said, I'm not surprised because he's still not a finished product. That is one department that they've got Ericsson, they've got Casemiro. These are dead woods. Dead wood. They are not contributing anything. So in the summer, if you say we've got money, Mr. Jim Ratcliffe, you bring 2 proper midfielders to add to Mainoo and Ugarte, where Mainoo sits on the bench and he learns from the other 3.
Very well explained.
I think Man U fans did this in the sense that they slightly overrated him.
Yeah,
because if you see a young player coming and he's playing well, they started talking about him like he's the best midfielder in the world.
You see
them comparing him to Pedri and those kind of things.
These guys are established. They are.
You see, so they themselves elevated him that this is the best.
Like 21, 22.
He's 23 now.
Yeah.
So he's been playing for
a little advanced.
90, and you see, if you, I listened to Amori where they wanted to overly praise Ahmad. He said, no, don't do that. This is what you've done to the rest. You've done these things to the rest, and you've collapsed them. Let's manage the situation. Today, where is Rashford? Where is Rashford? So, he's jamming in the disco.
Like I said, Man U fans themselves got into hey, we have some new young player. They started. They were saying all sorts of. This guy is he's the best midfielder in England.
He's a good player.
He's the next Paul Scholes.
But he still need to learn.
Once they started talking like this, if you just recognize that this is a promising midfielder with a lot to learn, who has a lot to refine in his game, you won't be surprised that some of his weaknesses are being exposed when teams are more aware of him and those type of things. But they started overhyping him. And now it's like his performance have dropped.
He can't live up to the standards that have been set for him.
They've hyped him because you can see someone is talented. But you can also say that this guy has a way to go. This guy is not there yet, but he can be there
I
soon.
remember very well going to the Euros. I listened to Paul Scholes.
Yeah.
I think it was Scholes and Ferdinand. They were of the view that he shouldn't go to the Euros. Because if he's a young lad who was brought into the team, played so many games, he needed to rest so that he go and have a proper preseason and then come and continue. So he shouldn't go to. Southgate decided to take him to the Euros.
He was starting by the knockout.
He didn't get any proper preseason. He just had 1 week off, came back, and then he got injured, and then
the manager has changed.
He's become terribly slow.
Yeah, there's a lot of upheaval on the team too.
Yeah.
So Kobbie Mainoo there, that's the word on him. Let's get to the final Premier League highlight between Ipswich and Manchester City. It was easy workings for Manchester City. Let's enjoy this one. It really was the Jeremy Doku show. He was everywhere and had his footprints on everything positive Manchester City did. Coach, just brief thoughts on that game.
Not really. I think City, virtually, they are using some games like this to remind everybody how good they are or how good they can be, and then to bring back the confidence level. So if this game had been very close, questions would have been asked. But because they took them to the cleaners and dealt with them, then people will start looking at them again and say, look, are they showing signs of what we think they can do from this moment of the season? I think next week, I think they play Chelsea or so. Or
they have a tough game coming.
Yeah, if they can navigate that with ease, then you have to look at them. But I still think it is too late. They are not going to catch Liverpool. Liverpool is now 50 points.
Yeah, but I guess the Champions League is there for them because they moved up to 4th with this win.
Yep, they were 8th, and then the win took them all the way up to 4th.
Because it's a big goal
difference. But there's
difference.
a difficult game for them in midweek.
But you see, if you look
in
at
the Champions
points,
League proper,
I think they are on like maybe 38. Then you have a lot of teams on 37,
37.
So that falls to about 9.
It's very crowded.
It's very crowded. So.
Yep. Well, let's turn directions a little. Let's go to Spain and let's get the action from the Spanish La Liga. Barcelona were up against Getafe. Getafe play some very negative football. If you've been following,
it's called tactical football. There's nothing like negative football. Can be negative.
See, I've literally seen them pass the ball and just go and form their low block.
But if he gets the results,
It's very crazy for me. But they were up to it again against Barcelona. Barca were expecting to win this game. In the end, they stumbled. Let's get the highlights. Coach, Barcelona dropped points again.
Very massive. Look, nobody saw that coming. But again, I've said that.
I have to say, I saw it coming.
Oh, you saw it coming?
Because you see, I saw there was a game Getafe played. Sorry to cut you off. Against a team in their 4th tier, where they finished the game with 16% possession as a top tier side because they had red cards. So I said, I'm looking at this Barca side that sometimes they waste chances. They might have a difficult time breaking them down.
Yep.
So this was a game that I looked at and was like, Barca are not going to have it easy at all.
Yeah.
I don't expect them to lose the game, but even at 1-0,
I like that we're having this discussion because Atletico Madrid have earned the reputation for being the guys who play negative football in the La Liga. I think Getafe are the ones that are going under. They've been doing this from like last season.
Yeah.
All they care about is trying to stifle you and trying to not let you play. They don't even care too much about playing.
Exactly. I don't know, but and it is not only when they play against the big teams. That is where it becomes so much of an identity that maybe we need to identify them as such. That they are the low block compact.
I think it's their coach, Javier Bordalas. If I remember correctly, he did. I think he's won something with Sevilla before. I think if I can remember correctly, I'll go and check. Yeah, I think he won the Europa League with Sevilla. So he's not a bad coach, but he's very pragmatic.
Yeah. And of course, if you are that type of coach, then of course when you're going to play against Barcelona, Real Madrid, that is what you have to show that. Yep. Show that that's who you are. And for me, I think the league title now is for Real Madrid to throw away.
They've gone top of the table again.
At the beginning of the season, we all said it's theirs to lose.
Yep.
Barcelona, yes, has put up a decent fight, but again, because of the fact that
the last 7 games, I think they've won like 1.
That is huge.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the last 7 or 8 games. They've won like 1 or 2. It's very bad.
See, that's what you get from Kate. When you are playing with what?
I know our producer knows their phone. You should just put in your earphone.
When you are playing with young lads, players who are highly inexperienced, although very good, they will need to play together for like 3 years. You see, when the likes of Iniesta and Co were coming in, they were guided by the likes of Marquez, Deco, Edmilson, Ronaldinho, Eto'o. So they learned Puyol, Piqué. So they learned from those guys. But in the case of these guys, there's nothing like that.
They've been thrown into the fire and
straight like that.
And even the senior players they have are players they've not been at Barca long. They've gone to get Inigo Martinez from somewhere. Lewandowski too has come. Rafinha is very... So the people who've been at Barca the longest is the younger players. It looks like, if you think about it, Pedri is like the senior player in, the team, in terms of like his tenure in the team.
Exactly.
Interesting. Let's go to the other side and check out Barcelona's rivals in Real Madrid. They were up against Las Palmas. It was a pretty decent game for Real Madrid, the kind of game they've not had in a while. Let's get the highlights. Real Madrid Football Club doing Real Madrid things. 4-1 back to the top of the table, coach. Mbappe.
I think that's where they belong.
Up and kicking.
That's where they belong. Gradually, he's now beginning to understand the movement within the system. It can only get better because these are experienced players.
Yeah.
Yet we all said that he's coming there. He's not going to be the main man. For him to integrate properly, he needed to accept the fact that this is a teamwork.
Yeah.
This is Real Madrid. You earn the right to be the main man. He's not done that.
I think the way it is going, he will eventually be that guy.
Eventually.
The way Vinicius is behaving.
Of course, I don't know what is wrong with him. For Mbappe, he needed to earn the right. And you can see gradually he's beginning to earn the right to becoming the main man of the team. My only worry is that they'll have to find a way of stopping Barcelona when they meet them again. Because I think Barcelona has embarrassed them twice already this season.
9 goals against Barca in 2 matches.
That is unacceptable.
Scored one.
With the quality they've got, that cannot happen in the return leg when they go to Barcelona. They need to find a way to stop
and
that.
we just have to add, I don't know if we have the highlights for this and it's on the program, that Atleti, their winning streak was snapped by
Atleti lost to Leganes.
1-0. And you know, it's one of those games, you look at the XG and some chances were there. They had an XG of about 2.45, but they couldn't score. So it's happened because I think Leganes take a lead.
Yeah.
You are chasing and you are just not able to.
And to be honest, when you've gone on a 14-game unbeaten run, it's just likely to happen.
It has to end at some point.
Yeah, it has to end at some point. Yes. It's just what it is. Let's go to Italy, and this time let's check out Atalanta and Napoli. Napoli are top of the Italian Serie A. Let's get the highlights. So Napoli winning. I believe Inter Milan were still in action when we were coming on, and they've won their game. No Kvaratskhelia, no problem. Can they hold this up? Can they keep this up?
I mean, they definitely can. They are not in Europe. And we know Antonio Conte, when he has 1 game a week, he's a very difficult coach to beat. We saw it his first season at Chelsea. We've seen it at other times. We saw it even, I believe, his first season at Juventus. So it's not like there's a track record of this. This was first versus third. Atalanta went on a huge winning run. They drew their last 2-3 games. Now they've lost this game, so they've lost some shine. Inter, I believe, have gone top after their win. So it's a very interesting title race. But I believe Inter
actually go 2 points behind Napoli.
2 points behind Napoli.
With the game in hand.
Yeah.
Yes, because of the Super Cup. Yeah. So I still believe Inter are favourites because they are the better team, the better squad. And in recent years, Simone Inzaghi has been the best Italian coach. But I'll never count out Antonio Conte. I think there's a lot of quality in that team, which is why I was so disappointed that Kvaratskhelia chose to leave in the middle of the season because he could have brought another title to Napoli. And it would have been important because just for the record, Maradona, who's hailed as a god, the stadium in Naples is named after him, won them 2 titles, just 2. So if you also are able to win them 2 titles, it's a big deal. And I think he missed an opportunity because I think if you win that second title and you ride off into the sunset, it's different. The transfer wasn't running away. Everyone was going to need their wingers next season anyway. So it was a disappointing transfer. I think that if they don't win the title, they'll think about him leaving and feel like there's a missed opportunity because he's been playing very well for them this season. But I still believe they have the quality to win a lot more games. I feel there'll be 1-2 games where they just miss a little bit of quality and he could have given them that. But credit to Antonio Conte, he's making the best out of a bad situation in terms of the fact that you look at this squad, there's some players you don't see them as world beaters. Lukaku has been pushed around Europe. He was at Roma last season. It didn't really work out. David Neres, he's been at Benfica, moved around. Scott McTominay, pushed out of United. It looks like a squad
of rejects.
Yeah, and he's able to get quality out of them. So I don't know whether it says something about the quality of Serie A or is Antonio Conte, but things are going well for them.
Interesting. Let's move it on to Germany and finish it up there. Back-to-back highlights we do. Let's do Bayern Munich versus Wolfsburg, and then we will do Bayer Leverkusen versus Mönchengladbach. So it's back-to-back highlights, and then we'll come in studio and discuss. Biggest statistical takeaway for me from the German games is that Michael Olise has hit 10 goals and 10 assists for Bayern in his first season. They are top of the table as well.
4 points ahead of Leverkusen.
That's why I love watching the Bundesliga. My only problem is that the defending in that
Can't-
league.
They
lot of
can't
space.
defend to save
No,
their
I,
lives.
I believe it's because everyone presses high, so there's a lot of space going back.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what makes it entertaining there. But
I think the people over there like attacking football. They don't
Attacking
care too much
football.
about defending.
But it's like
But it's interesting
Bayern
because
Munich may win
Germany
it.
in the past were
Used
very
to be
known
famed for their
defensive-
defending.
defensive.
Yep.
It's since Ralf Rangnick, together with his group of German coaches, introduced that high
True.
octane football, they've forgotten about how to defend. It's all about boom, 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 let's go forward and let's see what happens. So look, it's a very good league to watch, and I'm happy for Olise. 10 goals, 10 assists.
10 goals, 10 assists.
He wasn't rapping that in the EPL.
He was
Yeah.
also playing for Crystal Palace.
Palace.
A lot more creative.
A lot more creative.
responsibility.
Better finishes in
Yeah,
front
but
of
look,
him.
Bayern 4 points clear.
Yep.
We're about halfway through the season. They're in a good position. Leverkusen are not as solid defensively. They're not as consistent.
Yep.
And look, it was almost impossible because they played at a record-setting pace last
Yeah.
season. They
Yeah.
almost got the points record, if not got it.
Yes.
Went unbeaten. Yeah, they didn't get the points record, but they went
went
unbeaten.
unbeaten in the league.
There's no way you're going to play at a record point-setting level 2 seasons in a row, especially with the squad they have.
No.
Looking at the players they
Yeah.
have, so it's just to be expected. And Bayern, they look comfortable to win the title, but if a major injury happens to Harry Kane, then I'll worry. And Harry Kane, we know that the injuries do happen, so that's a concern.
For the first time, I really do want him to win the silverware.
Hurricane, Vincent Company, that would be nice. But thank you very much, Coach. Thank you very much, Susu. Thank you guys for sending us messages. And thank you guys who make time all the time to watch the show with us as well. Same time next week, Scorecard will be back on your screens.